Before the turn of the year, I'm going to give you a rundown of JRPGs that are due out in 2026. These are only for titles that have a confirmed 2026 release date, so games like Persona 4 Revival and Stranger Than Heaven won't be mentioned. Ports of existing titles won't be mentioned either. If they're already on a platform and just coming to another in 2026, then it will not be here. However, enhanced re-releases, remasters or remakes will be mentioned. Starting us off are the concrete dates that have been shared, excluding potential delays. On January the 15th, we have the hybrid RPG Trails Beyond the Horizon, releasing for PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. This was delayed from 2025, which makes sense to be honest. There was no reason to release it in the same year as the Sky First Chapter remake. I've already played this one. For me, it's the game that has got the Calvard arc back on track. It's more what I expect from Trails as a series, and a demo is available if you want to check it out for yourself. On January the 28th, we'll be getting the 7 Deadly Sins Origin for PS5, PC and mobile. It's a free-to-play open-world action RPG based on the popular manga series with a brand new original story. In this game you play as Prince Tristan, who is travelling across the land of Britannia to restore a world that has been thrown into chaos. On January the 29th, we'll be getting the deck builder RPG Chrono Arc Deluxe Edition coming to Nintendo Switch. It's an enhanced version of the Steam release from back in 2024. This game also employs roguelite elements. You build a team of 4 and then get stuck into the skills and character builds to go as far as you can. The story is based around the protagonist Lucy, who has no other memories except for the phrase "activate the clock tower." February the 5th will see the release of the remade Dragon Quest VII, in turn-based RPG Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. The game has been given the following synopsis. Both returning fans and new players will experience a standalone, epic, single-player RPG adventure to save the world, now lovingly reimagined with a handcrafted aesthetic that makes the game feel like a living storybook. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined builds on the beloved original game, which finds its colourful cast of characters unlocking a one-of-a-kind storyline across multiple islands, discovering the adventure piece by piece. This modern RPG features fresh visuals, refined gameplay, and tightened pacing for a truly unforgettable experience. A week later, on February the 12th, we'll see the release of action game Yakuza Kiwami 3, along with the spin-off Dark Ties for PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. Once again, the game's synopsis states that Yakuza Kiwami 3 is an extreme remake of the action-adventure beat-em-up Yakuza 3 featuring protagonist Kazuma Kiryu's fight to protect those he loves. Dark Ties is a brand new game featuring Yoshitaka Mine from Yakuza 3, included as a separate action-packed experience. Next up is the delivery RPG Calamity Angel Special Delivery, releasing on PS4, PS5 and Nintendo Switch for February the 17th, 2026. It's also coming to PC at a later point in the year. The website calls this a JRPG with a twist. You lead a ragtag group of carriers in this delivery service RPG as they protect packages through treacherous terrains, unruly monsters, and meet other delivery service teams ready to stake their claim as the best delivery service in the Orkotris region. February the 19th will see the re-release of a DS title from 2010, which is the turn-based RPG Wizman's World Retry, coming to PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch and PC. Bold adventurers will start their journey as the young wizard Klaus, who has come of age to begin his dungeon exploring career. The city of Wizarest has been cut off from the outside world for over a century, with its people living in isolation, stripped of their memories and surrounded by labyrinthian dungeons crawling with monsters. Klaus discovers that his mentor and adoptive mother, the prodigal mage and alchemist Giselle, has been missing since she went into the dungeons last month, and he vows to uncover the mystery behind her disappearance. On the next day, February the 20th, we will also see the enhanced re-release of my personal game of the year from 2024, which is action RPG East-End Proud Nordics, coming to PS5, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. Set in the Obelia Gulf, this game uses a new mode of gameplay which depends on the synergy between Ado and the new protagonist Kaja as they work to figure out the mystery of the land. If you've played an East game, you've got an idea of what East 10 offers, which is the sense of adventure, the mostly mute protagonist in Ado himself, fast-paced combat and great music. A week later, on February the 27th, 2026, we will see the release of the action RPG Tales of Berseria Remastered, coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. This is the latest entry from the remastered project, which apparently will now start to delve further into the older titles. As for Berseria, it's more of the same as a remaster, enhanced graphics and quality of life. Turning the page to March the 13th is yet another big release, which is turn-based RPG Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflections, coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. In this tale, players take on the role of the heir to Azuria, blessed with special abilities leading them to become the leader of the Rangers and sole Rathalos rider in the kingdom. The protagonist performs their duties protecting monsters and investigating egg quartz. However, a life-changing event soon drives him to investigate the strange phenomena threatening the world. In their search for the truth, they set out for the Forbidden Land beyond the Northern Meridian. It looks to employ the same style of combat from the previous Monster Hunter story games too, which is only a plus. March the 24th will see the release of side-scrolling action RPG Ariana and the Elder Codex, coming to PS4, PS5 and Nintendo Switch, and also coming to PC in spring. The librarian Ariana's mission is to repair the 7 hero codices which have been altered. Due to the terrible damage, magic has vanished from the world. By utilising special librarian magic that allows her to enter codices, Ariana seeks to mend the books to bring back magic. You've got elements of crafting here, a variety of bosses and a bunch of spells to use, 30 all said and done when they're fully unlocked. 2 days later, March the 26th, will see the release of action RPG Étrange Overlord for PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. It's described as a musical action-adventure game. You'll take control of an eccentric duke's daughter falsely accused of assassinating the king. She's called Étrange von Rosenberg, who is swiftly executed. Nice. From there she ends up in hell, so maybe she did something bad somewhere else, I don't know. It's apparently a tale of humour and heart that comes from the creator of Disgaea and Rhapsody, a musical adventure. And on the very next day, March the 27th, we will get the SRPG Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection, coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch and PC. The synopsis states that this collection includes 7 games and additional features like a gallery of illustrations and music. Online play is also supported. It blends fast-paced action with a unique card-based system. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection offers thrilling combat and storytelling that define the character for a generation of Mega Man fans. While preserving the original gameplay, the Legacy Collection delivers an updated and enhanced experience. Irrespective of what you may think of the series, 7 games in 1 is pretty good value. Into April, and on the 23rd, we'll see the release of strategy/action RPG hybrid Kingdom's Return, Time-Eating Fruit and the Ancient Monster, coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. The synopsis shares that this is an action RPG where players must adventure to restore their fallen kingdom. You collect materials in 2D side-scrolling adventure stages, then use them in the strategy part to build your city as you see fit and power up your characters in the process. You choose one of 4 characters, Imperial, Alchemist, Wizard or Zipangu, no idea what that is, and set out an adventure through a variety of action stages. Collect materials here you'll use to build up your kingdom, placing buildings that buff your character's stats, all that jazz. Then set out again to conquer even more dangerous stages until the bosses are afraid of you. That's what the synopsis says, so I'll just go with it. Now we move on to the games that only have a release window stated for 2026, and we're starting with turn-based RPG Sacrifier, coming to all platforms except Nintendo Switch 2. That's going to be releasing for PC first in Q1 2026 and later on for consoles. It's a game that's inspired by the 90s classics, which merges real-time and turn-based styles for a more dynamic gameplay approach, a large world to explore, and also includes the work of Motoi Sakuraba for the OST. Q1 2026 will also see the release of turn-based RPG The Backworld, coming to PC. The synopsis states it's a game where you slip between the cracks of reality into a broken world where danger awaits at every turn. Explore endless dimensions to defy beings born out of pure chaos, use your hoverboard to fly across gaps of darkness, hack into cyberspace with an alien engineer, and absorb the soul of a dead god. It's a game structured around non-linear exploration, optional recruitable characters, and employs elements of horror. In early 2026 is another enhanced East title, which is action RPG East Memoir Revelations in Celceta, coming to Nintendo Switch. This follows in the same grain as Ovenfell from earlier this year. One of Ad-Hoc's earliest adventures, and coincidentally the one that comes immediately after East 10 in the official timeline, which of course was on this list as well. This game is centered around an amnesiac Adol Kristin as he ends up shipwrecked on the Great Forest region of Celceta. In this journey he looks to not only reveal the mystery of the land, but also gradually pieces together his memory, and it's one of the only games that goes a bit deeper into Adol's motivation of becoming an adventurer. Around the same time, early 2026, we'll also get the shooter RPG Sigma Star Saga DX, coming to PS5, Nintendo Switch and PC. This was originally on the Game Boy Advance. The synopsis gives us a nice breakdown. As elite Earth pilot Ian Wrecker, players must infiltrate the invading Krill Empire and defeat them from within by traversing numerous planets, interacting with memorable NPCs, and wielding dozens of types of weapons data that allows for thousands of powerful combinations for Wrecker's ship. It retains all of the gameplay and content of the original release, but it also adds numerous refinements including improved map, decreased random encounter rate, rebalanced XP systems, modified hitboxes, adjusted auto-fire, enhanced dialogue, additional save points, assorted bug fixes, and quality of life updates. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff for this re-release. In spring 2026, we will see the release of the spin-off SRPG Hyperdevotion Noir Goddess Blackheart coming to Nintendo Switch, but you'll have to get the Asian version if you want English support. Unlike previous Hyperdimension Neptunia games, Hyperdevotion Noir is not set within the world of GAM Industry, but instead within a similar but separate world known as Gamarket. This time, Noir takes the lead in grid-based tactical combat with familiar friends at her side. You customize units, activate special abilities by linking characters through the Lily system, and outmaneuver enemies on the battlefield, all the while earning points to personalize your home base in Sim Noir mode. Next up is a game that was delayed to 2026, not surprising because we heard nothing about it all year except for the delay, and that is turn-based RPG Fate Extra Record coming to PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch and PC. The setting is a Spiritron virtual world called Seraph built on the moon. Masters and servants team up and fight for survival in pursuit of the Holy Grail, an omnipotent wish-granting device in the Moon Holy Grail War, which begins once again. This is a remake of Fate Extra, the first Fate series RPG originally released back in 2010. Of course, it's been revamped for modern hardware, so you've got refreshed character graphics. The command battle system looks to have been streamlined a little bit and also employs a deck building system. In fall 2026, we'll see the release of action RPG Mononoke no Kuni coming to PC. Set in a world where myths and yokai breathe life, this action adventure follows a boy and his faithful pup as they challenge both fate and their unbreakable bond. 3 sacred relics, the whispers of yokai, and a hidden truth waiting to be uncovered. Not much more to say about it, looks like it's one of those chill games for the most part as you travel around with a doggo. Next up, in fall 2026, we'll see the release of the sequel to the Sky First Chapter remake, which is Hybrid RPG Trails in the Sky Second Chapter, coming to PS5, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. Following immediately from the events of First Chapter, this game sees Estelle on a journey to find Joshua while also looking to thwart the plans of the Mysterious Society. This game starts to play more on the wider mythos of Trails as a series, bringing in elements that have become important right up to its current iteration. If it's anything like First Chapter, expect a very faithful remake of the original material. Late 2026 will also see the release of action RPG Tomo Endless Blue coming to PC. You set sail through the Endless Blue, an ocean realm inhabited by the Tomo, team up with your companions to fight or enjoy daily life, you build vehicles and contraptions to explore procedurally generated islands and villages and meet unique characters along the way. And now we end with the games that have a planned 2026 release, but have no date or window shared. And we'll start with turn-based RPG Infinite Alliance coming to all modern platforms. Not only is it free, but it has a pretty neat concept too. Heroes and villains from over 13 independent JRPGs collide in this story-rich crossover event, so it features characters from Chained Echoes, Quartet, Jack Move, 8-Bit Adventures 2, Beloved Rapture, and more. And the characters are pulled from their homes and stranded on a dead world, and now the disparate group of champions must face their past and redeem a failed hero. Infinite Alliance showcases the creative variety of the independent JRPG scene, this is their words, and we hope you'll discover your next favourite game through this epic free adventure. Also coming in 2026 is action RPG Code Vein 2, releasing on PS5, Xbox Series and PC. Code Vein 2 features a deep narrative where players and characters are bound by blood, fate and destiny, set in a future where the last remnants of humanity and Revenant struggle against a world on the verge of collapse. Following the sudden emergence of a mysterious threat, Revenants have succumbed to madness, transforming into terrifying creatures called Horrors, very original. You take control of a Revenant hunter who is being guided by a mysterious girl named Lou, who possesses the power to travel into the past to rewrite the fate of the world. The player, as the Revenant hunter, will intervene in key moments in history in order to alter it, or something like that, I guess. If you've played the original Code Vein, you'll know it's basically anime Souls-like. Anyway, moving on, a surprise release for 2026 is the Creature Collector RPG Navanosuke the Yokai Buster coming to Nintendo Switch. It never saw a commercial release back in the 2000s for Game Boy Advance, and was meant to utilise a GPS unit on the Game Boy Advance so you could walk around to find yokai, kinda like Pokemon Go. It was the final project of the old Metal Slug team. This will be worked on by Kohachi Studio that employs some of that old team. The synopsis shares that it's set in ancient Japan, where you play as Navanosuke, obviously, a young Onmyoji in training, meeting and battling over 150 unique yokai. You plan your tactics using turn-based auto battles and a Shikigami system, and explore a whimsical, strategy-driven Japanese fantasy world. Next up is the action RPG Samurai Pizza Cats Blast from the Past, releasing in 2026 for all major platforms except for Nintendo Switch 2 at the moment. It's based on a Japanese show from the 90s and is designed as a 2D action RPG. The game allows players to seamlessly switch between members of the Pizza Cats, utilising their unique abilities to solve puzzles and engage in thrilling battles within the world of Little Tokyo. 2026 will also see the release of a new IP from Team Asano. Action RPG The Adventures of Elliot the Millennium Tales, coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. A demo is available on Nintendo Switch 2. From the synopsis, in a corner of a continent overrun with beast tribes, the kingdom of Hutba is humanity's sole bastion, kept safe by a magic barrier. After the discovery of heretofore unknown ruins, the adventurer Elliot and his fairy sidekick Faye brave the dangers outside the kingdom on a journey spanning not only the continent but its 1,000-year history. Open new paths as you explore this untamed continent and reveal the world's mysterious history. Enjoy intuitive and rewarding action-based battle with a healthy dose of strategic support abilities from a fairy. Next up is a turn-based RPG called Starbites, coming to PS5, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. On a desert planet called Bitter, ravaged by the aftermath of an interstellar war, a young salvager named Lukida seeks to escape to the stars, but a sudden attack by a giant robot sets events into motion that will change her life and the fate of Bitter forever. Sounds kind of like Rogue Galaxy. Explore the expansive landscape of Bitter atop your motor bot and fight your way to victory in a turn-based battle system that's easy to learn and satisfying to master. Build up your party, kit out your motor bots with powerful equipment and head out into the deserts of Bitter. Cool. We've got more turn-based games next with Eternity Breaker coming to PC. Eternity Breaker is a turn-based roguelike game with 2.5D pixel art fantasy graphics. The story is about the battle to find a way out of an endless dungeon. In Eternity Breaker, combat requires the use of skills. In each combat round, the skills available for use are randomised, and skill upgrade statuses can also be randomised. Not so sure about that one. Next up is an SRPG called Tiny Metal 2 coming to PC. It has land, sea and air tactical battles. A lot of importance is put on the idea of building the units how you want, and there's a bunch of commanders, 15 in total, that all have their own unique quirks. Tiny Metal 2 features cinematics by animation studio Safe House, who are known for Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, and stars Japanese voice talents like Toshiyuki Toyonaga and Daisuke Ono. It's got online cooperative play of up to 8 players, new art style, and other soon-to-be-revealed features and game modes ensure hundreds of hours of replay value. We have more roguelike RPGs next with Alchemia Rogue, Mia and the Mystery Labyrinth, also coming to PC. It's grid-based with turn-based exploration, and then on the other side it's got a deep alchemy system where you combine materials to transmute powerful items, adding, in their words, new layers of strategy to the traditional roguelite experience. The final three now, and we start with turn-based RPG Parasite Mutant, coming to PS5 and PC. Clearly influenced by Parasite Eve, not a bad franchise to take inspiration from. Parasite Mutant is a science fiction horror RPG set in the distant future. Psionic agent Nova was sent on a mission to an abandoned and secluded island city filled with horrifying creatures, not knowing that what happened on the island will completely change her fate. Of course, you only need to look at the gameplay. If you played Parasite Eve, it's going to feel very, very similar to that. The penultimate game is one that will be a reason that a few people buy a Nintendo Switch 2, I imagine, in Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave coming to Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, I don't really need to say much about this one, it's Fire Emblem. As soon as the trailer went up and that familiar tactical layout was shown, people were marking it down in their calendars. It's bringing in an arena as the setting, and is also bringing back Sophis from Three Houses. Man, I guess Three Hopes as well if you want to go into spin-off territory, so who knows what they're going to be doing with that. Either way, this one is going to do well. And the last game is going to be turn-based RPG Uta Wareru Mono Shiroe no Michi Shirube, coming to PS5, Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. The reason it's last is because it's only due for a Japanese release for now, but if it's anything like Monochrome Mobius, it will come west. I'm hoping 2026, more realistically 2027 if I had to guess. It is a sequel to Monochrome Mobius. It expands on the already rich lore of the Uta Wareru Mono series. The turn-based gameplay looks to be similar, and it seems like it will be bringing in a lot of characters from the Mask games too.